I've been fantastic.
Living life to the fullest?
The fullest. Doesn't matter if it's winter or spring, whatever. If it's raining or hot, you've always got to try to grab life and by the scruff of the neck. And even if you haven't had a good time, always say it's been fantastic, because it's a great way of, in a way, almost like it's almost like self-hypnosis.
It is,
Your brain goes with it.
Yeah, you don't say, oh, I don't feel real good. You say, great, and you might start feeling great. I believe in that too.
That's right. And a lot of people in winter say, oh, it's so cold. But once you start saying it, like if it's a bad thing, you start believing it and feeling it. So it doesn't matter. You always say, it's a great day, beautiful, it's cold, doesn't matter.
Good on you. And talking about retirement, we're going to talk about that today, and about still like living your best life. As you were saying off air, it's the most important stage of our lives after we retire.
It sure is. Look at sport. Like the last 10 minutes are always the most exciting.
Yes.
So in life, I reckon, look, sport is a bit almost like a mini life. You know, there's challenges, there's people getting injured.
Yeah.
There's injustice because the referee you know, and so forth. You win, you lose, you draw. And I think, those last 10 minutes, it's always wonderful. In life, you always think, I'm not there yet, hopefully, but over the next few years I will be. But that last stage when you retire, that's what, in the end, you're going to go out with, and you've got all the experience, usually a bit more financial backing.
Yeah.
If you have health, it's the best time, because you can actually start doing the things you want to do.
And you're wise, aren't you? Hopefully we're more wise by then.
Well, yes, people, without a doubt, learn as we go along. It's important to be open to learning, because if we're too set in our ways, then we can't learn. Wisdom only comes when we're broad-minded and that we accept that we still have much to learn.
That's right. And it's really important when we retire to have hobbies and still have goals, isn't it? Set
100%. 100%, because some people go from working straight into retirement and
sit around.
Yeah. Look, to tell the truth, Deb, if I retired today, I'd run out of time tomorrow.
Good on you.
To do all the things I still want to do. And I don't mind that, because I know I'm not going to be able to do all of them before the end, but I think you got to have that mindset. And even if they're not paid work, they're not things that you actually didn't want to do, maybe try new things. It's a wonderful opportunity to still get up early in the morning.
Yes.
And tackle the day, trying to experience new things, yes.
Yeah, and do we change our mindset to start thinking of things we can do? Maybe write a list if we're not really sure of things we want to do?
Yes, I think the same plan applies. You still need to be relatively organised. It doesn't matter whether you're going to work or not. You still plan, you still write a list, because if not, things don't get done and you leave. And because you have time, I find even on holidays, I don't get stuff done because I think I've got tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so you need to really be quite organised with that.
Yeah, okay then. And some famous philosophy on that.
Yeah. Well, Aristotle, of course, you know, the famous and the well-known ancient Greek philosopher, He lived a relatively long life for those times in his till his late 70s. So, and the works that we read that have influenced, especially Western society, are his later works, when he actually accumulated all the knowledge and so forth. And so that's wonderful. Imagine he had decided, I'm not going to write anymore. I'm retired
too
now.
Old, I'm not going to.
I'm retired from philosophy. Now we wouldn't have had, the world would have been totally different, because he set the foundations for democracy and many other things. So, and of course, the great Marcus Aurelius always taught us that never to forget that life is temporal, and that we have to remind ourselves, very much like Eastern philosophy does, rather than pretend that death doesn't exist, know and embrace it, because now those last 10 minutes of the game, we're going to be in a hurry to win, because if we think we're going to live forever, Time's got to tick away, and then it'll be too late to score.
True, our bodies might get a bit older, but our minds hopefully are still there pushing us forward.
Yes, and there's wonderful things we can still do when with old age, and especially today with all the technology there is. And if you're financially stable, of course, that opens many doors. But even without that, there's wonderful things we can do that don't cost money.
That's
and
right.
Just being in nature, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, isn't it? First thing in the morning, especially sunrise. Isn't it gorgeous out there?
Yeah, you're just out there, the crisp mornings, whether it's, again, doesn't matter the season. And it's almost like you're cheating time before the sun comes out.
It is.
It's wonderful.
It's the best time of day, and it sets your day up to be just great, doesn't it?
Yes, a lot of writers, a lot of artists actually do a lot of their work early in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Then we can have a nanny nap later.
There's always time for sleep.
Yep, we may as well live while we're alive.
Yeah, sleep is important because we need that energy, but I think it's been researched. We have to sleep at a certain time. If we sleep in, it's not good for us.
No, you don't feel good either. You feel terrible.
That's right, physiologically and psychologically.
Yes, you do. Now, so the thing is to get out of our comfort zone. We've still got, most people have even got a book in them. I know you have. You've been talking off air about your book. Tell us, Carlos.
Yeah, I decided that children should be exposed to philosophy, and it sounds like such a scary word, like psychology. I didn't even know how to spell it yet, to tell the truth. Yeah. So it's one of those things that the resources are there. So I've written a little book for children about philosophy and what these great minds have taught us on happiness, but really simplified. It's for children, but it's also for people that just want to read philosophy and not get annoyed with those big words that no one actually uses in daily life. A lot of philosophers do it also to show off a little bit, but the best philosophers, again, like Aristotle and like Marcus Aurelius, used very simple words, and that's why we love them, because when we read that, we don't have to be a scholar to work it out. So I've actually simplified it even more, and that'll be coming out soon, hopefully.
That is so exciting. When you were telling me, I got goosebumps, because I think that's so important for the children. Children
and teenagers, they need something more than just kittens falling off sofas on YouTube, you know. Wow, I wish I was exposed to that. I found philosophy in my 20s, mid-20s. Yeah. I wish, and if I was king of the world, or the king philosopher, like Plato said.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I am in my mind, but I don't have any real power. I would make philosophy obligatory from year one in primary school.
For sure, and meditation.
100%.
Oh, I meditated when I was in primary school without knowing what it was before a sports carnival, like relax your muscles, go to sleep at night. And I didn't know what meditation was then, but imagine if the kids were doing it now to relax themselves. Oh. Like they probably are starting to.
Well, they'd have more control of their mind.
Yes.
And with philosophy, it doesn't have to go too deep, but from year one in primary school, which the kids will be 5 or 6, there's things that they see they don't understand, like the stars and so forth. You just start talking about that a lot of people have wondered what these things are. Just start giving them a bit of history on what people thought. It also gives us an identity of where we're at. Because all the knowledge that we're born into, my youngest child has more knowledge of the cosmos than Aristotle did.
Wow.
And that just comes from being born
technology
now, because we're standing on the shoulder of these giants that added a bit, and now everyone knows basically that the Earth revolves around the sun and not the other way around, without doing absolutely anything. We already know that. So for children, it's important that we, apart from those technical things, give them a way of thinking for themselves, and philosophy can do that.
Good on you, Carlos. I can't wait until you bring your book in soon. Oh.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to come. It'll be a couple of weeks now. So.
Oh, I hope it's a bestseller. I think it will be.
Oh, well, look, as long as it
gets out there.
It gets out there. And like even with my other book, I had 1 or 2 people write to me and said, it changed my life, and I'm happy with that.
Oh,
I'm not going to retire now from the royalties, that's for sure. But
keep writing.
Well, when you write something like that, it's mainly just knowing that if you've helped someone, that's my payment.
That's for sure. Good on you, Carlos. So get out of your comfort zone, go for a ride on a bike if you haven't done that before, a motorbike, go for a skydive, ride a board, do what you want.
That's it. Follow old Bill's advice, eh?
Yeah, good on you. Talk to you next time, Carlos. Thanks for coming in.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you. We've got the Travelling Wilburys that you've chose, and it's called The End of the Line.